Hey, this is Evan with Melly Homebuyer Brokerage and Consultant. We specialize in fixing title issues such as probate, liens, code violations, judgments, things of that nature. Um, we also, well, when we fix those issues, whether it be through making an offer on the property, brokering, or consulting, we provide various services. So if you have a probate issue or something of that nature, you can come to us. We can fix the probate issue, and then either broker the house or make you an offer, depending upon what your situation is. Um, this is our monthly Q&A for the month of December. We'll go through various questions that we have received, and let's go ahead and get started. What can Melly do for me? Well, depending upon your situation, we can help you get through title issues or various issues with your house. Whether you're looking to sell it or just fix title issues, we can be of help as in a consulting capacity or also as a broker or a home buyer. Um, we specialize in probates, title issues, disputes, um, judgments, liens, things of that nature. So if you have any of those types of situations, we can definitely help you. Next question. What does it mean to sell a house to a cash home buyer? So simply put, it just means that you're looking to sell your house to an investor that's going to pay cash for your property. And that means that um, instead of selling your property to a retail buyer who will take out a mortgage on the property, you're selling to an investor who will pay cash. And the difference really is if you're selling to a retail buyer, your property is going to have to be up to certain standards and conditions for the buyer of that property to be able to get a loan. They will be unable to get a loan if the property is in a distressed situation. So that's really what it means, just selling to an investor that's going to pay cash for your property as is, no contingencies. Let's go on to the next question. How can I sell my distressed house? So, uh, really the easiest way is going to be going online and looking for various investors and home buyers um, in your area that are actively buying properties, and then really determining reputable companies that have valid reviews. That'll give you a good idea of the people you want to work with, and um, getting multiple offers um, would be a good idea from reputable companies. Because just because someone makes you an offer doesn't mean they're going to close, and it also could mean um, it, that maybe they're just making you an offer to then try to resell the property at a higher price, which is referred to as wholesaling. Which there's not, I guess, inherently there isn't anything wrong with that as long as they close. But the problem becomes a lot of people make offers and they never close, and that's a problem for the seller. Um, let's go on to the next question. What's the best way to sell a house that needs work? Um, so pretty similar to the last question. It's just essentially going out there to investors. The easiest way is going to be to look online, find the most reputable investors, get offers from them, and then um, go with the most reputable offer combined with hopefully the highest purchase price. But what you'll find is a lot of times the highest purchase price probably isn't a reputable investor. It's probably someone that is actively just trying to get properties under contract to try to resell them. And then if they close, great. But if they don't close, then they just leave the seller hanging. Next question: is it possible to sell a house with a tax lien? We've bought houses like that. Um, it's can be a problem depending. I would say most people won't buy properties like that. We will. We'll buy properties with tax liens, code violation liens, things of that nature. It just depends on your situation. What happens a lot of times with tax liens is they are a lot of times they're paid before closing because the amounts aren't that large. Maybe 1,000 or up to maybe $10,000 or $20,000. It's not huge amounts. So a lot of times those will be paid at closing. Next question: how does probate work when you're selling a house? So um, it can vary from case to case, but um, really, let's say you had a relative pass away and you inherited the property, you're going to have to take that property through probate. Um, you can go ahead and contract on a house. Um, let's say you can go ahead and sell that house, and someone, an investor, can put that house under contract while you're going through probate. And so you can go ahead and know for sure or feel very confident that the house is going to sell, and you can take it through the probate process. But what also you can do is, companies like Melly, we will actually help you through the probate process. We have attorneys that we use because we do dozens and dozens of probates, and we'll actually take the house through the probate process with you. We'll handle all the work with our attorneys and just have you sign various documents that need to be signed, and we'll go under contract with you on the property. And then whenever the judge approves the sale of the property, then we'll move forward with the sale. So it really depends. Some buyers will help you with probate, some won't. Some will want you to go ahead and do it, and then when you're through the process, they'll buy the house. So it just depends on the buyer. Um, can you sell a house before probate? Um, Technically, no, because you don't own the property yet. So the point of probate is for the municipality and a judge to determine that you are the rightful owner of the house, or you and the other heirs are the rightful owners of the house. So the whole point is, if there can be a lot of disputes with inherited property, and someone may think they own the house but they don't, which I've seen before. And the judge will determine who owns the house, and once they determine it, you will rightfully be able to sell that house. But if you wanted to, quote unquote, sell the property before probate, you would do what's called a quitclaim deed, and you technically aren't really selling the house. You're selling your interest in the house, and technically you have no interest in the house before the probate. But it can be done, and it is a way to do it, but you still have to take it through probate. But you technically can sell it before probate, and you sell your interest. So eventually, when you do take it through probate and the judge says, yes, you are a rightful owner of this house, I've already bought that interest from you in the house. So you've essentially already sold your interest. So when the judge says you're the owner of this property, I've already bought your ownership of the property before that point. So I'm the rightful owner. But that's a different way of doing it. We would only do that in really complicated situations, but it's not something that we have done very often. Typically, just going through the probate process correctly is the best way to go. Next question: is selling a house with code violations possible? Yeah, of course. We buy houses with code violations, code violation liens, things of that nature. That it's not that difficult to do. You essentially have to do what's called a hold harmless and say, essentially says, I know there's code violations on this house, but I'm going to close on it anyway. And then the title company, the title insurance will say, we don't have we do not insure this item, and the buyer is aware that this item is here, and he takes all the risk. But we'll absolutely do that. But a lot of times, similar to the tax liens, a lot of times you can pay them before closing, but not always. We've closed on properties with hundreds of thousands in code violation liens, and um, had to clear those up after the fact, and took 6 or 8 months to fix it. But that's part of what we do. Next question: can I sell my house to avoid foreclosure? Well, I mean, in theory, yes, assuming that you can sell it for a price that is as much or more than the foreclosure amount. Let's say you have a mortgage for 100 grand and the house is worth 200 grand, and we come to you and say, we'll buy it for 200 grand. Then at closing, we would pay off that mortgage and you would walk away with the other 100. So it'd be 200 grand minus 100, and that would get you out of foreclosure. But if it's let's say the exact opposite scenario where your house is worth 100, but you have a loan for 200, then you have what's called a short sale, and the bank would have to approve it, and it can be it's a long process and complicated, but it's doable. Um, so if you're in that scenario, it would take a lot more conversation and understanding what you're going through to see if it's something we can help you with. How can I resolve my home's title issues? So I would recommend talking with an attorney. Also, companies like Melly that have experience in title issues, we can walk you through what's going on, and see how difficult it is to figure out those title issues. Um, and in a lot of scenarios, we can fix those title issues. So, I would recommend an attorney, and I would recommend speaking with you know a consultant of sorts, or a home buyer that's experienced in title issues. Some home buyers are, but not all of them are. But that's what we specialize in at Melly, so we could definitely help you um, with your situation. And then any other questions? No questions in the comments. Um, as always, thank you very much for listening to our Q&A. Our number is 407-305-5008. And you can also go to our website, mellyhomes.com, and answer a couple questions, and then we'll reach out to you to see if um, if your property or situation is a good fit, and see if we can help. um, so just to reiterate, Melly is a homebuyer brokerage consultant focusing in Central Florida. We take care of title issues, like probate, liens, code violations, things of that nature. Feel free to give us a call or hit us on our website. All right. Thanks, guys.